I think fans are probably most concerned with Russ Wilson's future, and I was wondering, is that a top of your to-do list, getting a long-term contract done with him, and when would that commence?
Well, first of all, we couldn't have been more excited as we were going through the process to see that the organization had made the trade for Russell. It's critical to have a great quarterback in this league, and so to come in with Russell Wilson in place is a tremendous benefit for us. On our first diligence trip in May here, one of the first people we ran into in the hallway when Rob and Carrie and I were here was Russell. And right away, you got a sense for how positive he is as a leader. He's just such a dynamic individual. And I can't wait to see him on the field. I don't know how much we'll see of him on the field on Saturday, but we're looking forward to it. And at this point, nothing to say about his contract.
There you go. Nothing to say about the contract. Very good already, Greg Penner, at answering questions without really answering questions. He was asked yesterday about whether or not Peyton Manning or John Elway will be added to the ownership group, and he did a very good job of stick handling his way through that. So one of the skills, if you're going to be available to the media on a regular basis, you got to know how to set the agenda in response to the questions you're asked. But here's the bottom line. Here's some free advice. If Rob Watson or Rob Walton or Greg Penner or anyone else in the ownership group is watching us today, and if you are, thank you very much. Welcome to the NFL. The longer you wait, the more expensive it's going to get. You want to get Russell Wilson at a more favorable price? Do it now. Chris, the only thing that would affect that would be if Russell Wilson was just horrible this year. But even then, is that going to affect his value? They've already given up significant assets to get him. They've already gone all in with him. He's got 1 year left on his contract after 2022. They're going to pay him market value. The only question is whether they pay him according to what the market is now or what the market will be in the offseason.
Yeah, you're right. To me, it's one of those that's it's inevitable. It's going to happen. Greg Penner and Mr. Walton, they're just, the ink just dried on them buying the football team. So I'm sure they're kind of, in the early stages of learning the team and some of the things that go on with the salary cap and all of that. But as he just explained right there, Greg Penner, they got their shiny object. They got their guy. There's not that many of them in the NFL. And they do, add significant value, these franchise quarterbacks, these star quarterbacks to the team. And, of course, just, everything that goes around it. The fanfare, everybody wants to root for you a little bit more when you have one of those quarterbacks that's top 5, top 8 in football. You always feel like you got a chance. And then Russell Wilson, like we just talked about with Tom Brady, he's all in. He's everything you want for a quarterback. So I think it's just one of those that, yes, it's just a matter of time. And with their money and whatever else, I feel like this could be something that just comes out of the dark midway through the season. I wouldn't be shocked if that. And if it's not that, they'll get it done early in the next offseason period.
One more point, though, and this is something to keep in mind as the Walton Penner ownership group moves forward. And this was a point that I remember making early in the offseason as it relates to just the idea, and I think it was maybe after the Stephen Ross stuff happened, the allegations made by Brian Flores. The reality is, to become an owner of an NFL team, you don't have to pass a test on the NFL. You don't have to know anything at all about running an NFL team. You just need to have the money to pay for it. Just like you go buy a Ferrari, no requirement that you know how to drive the damn thing. No requirement to even have a driver's license. All that's needed is the money to buy it. And that's where fans just kind of have to sit back. These folks seem very earnest in their approach to this. They've been very successful in maintaining the empire that Sam Walton built. They didn't build it, but they didn't run it aground into the rocks either. So there's something to be said for Walmart growing and thriving under first the stewardship of Rob Walton and more recently Greg Penner. But this is a different ballgame. And how many times have we seen person who has had unlimited success in one specific area of business try to translate that to football and realize very quickly doesn't translate. Doesn't translate. Because everybody else was successful too. And this is a zero-sum game. For every team that wins, there's a team that loses. And so there's no guarantee that this is going to work. And you got people who are coming into this sport not knowing much about it. That's what's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
And let's see what they find out. Let's see how quickly they learn. Let's see what kind of decisions they make. Let's see what they do with Russell Wilson. They take a hard line. I mean, this is going to be an example of what kind of ownership they're going to be. Just because they're really rich doesn't mean they're going to be throwing money at people. So the point is this. You get through the door because you have a shitload of money. After that, we find out what you know about football.
Yep, but we know the advantages you have when you got cash on hand, like we discussed yesterday, the ability to, guaranteed contract, signing bonus, that certainly helps. And with the guys like this, more times than not, they are pretty smart. They understand how to balance checkbooks and things like that. And, I know they've balanced them in their favor for a long time.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.